Okay, so I want to tell you about a bird that holds grudges. A bird that remembers your face for years. A bird that has been observed making tools, solving multi-step puzzles, planning for the future, and teaching its children which humans to be afraid of. This is the crow, and it is without question one of the most intelligent creatures on this planet. Not intelligent for a bird, just intelligent. Full stop. Let me start with something that happened at the University of Washington that completely changed how scientists think about animal intelligence. A researcher named John Marsluff decided to study how crows respond to being caught and tagged. So he and his team put on caveman masks, the kind you buy at a Halloween store, and went out to catch and tag crows on the university campus. Normal scientific procedure. Catch the bird, attach a small tag, release it. The whole process took about a minute. What happened next was not normal. The tagged crows immediately began scolding the researchers whenever they saw the caveman masks. That was expected. What was not expected was that crows who had never been caught, who had simply watched from nearby trees, also began scolding anyone wearing the caveman mask. They had learned from observation that this specific face meant danger, and they passed that information on. Over the following years, the scolding spread. Crows that had never seen the original tagging, offspring of the original crows, new crows that had moved into the area, all learned that the caveman face was dangerous. 5 years later, the researchers put on the masks again and walked across campus. Crows that had not even been born during the original study dive-bombed them, screamed at them, followed them across campus, warning every other crow in the area. They remembered a face for 5 years and taught their children to hate it. But here is what makes this truly remarkable. The researchers also wore a different mask during normal walks, not catching any birds, just walking around. A Dick Cheney mask. And the crows near the caveman mask wearers eventually learned to tell the difference. Safe face, dangerous face. They were making nuanced judgments about human identity that most people assume only humans can make. Now let me tell you about the tools, because this is where crows stop being impressive and start being something else entirely. New Caledonian crows, a species found on a small island in the Pacific, have been observed making hook tools from twigs to extract insects from tree bark, not picking up sticks and poking them into holes, actually bending and shaping the twig into a hook, manufacturing a tool for a specific purpose, then carrying that tool with them to use again later. In laboratory experiments, researchers placed food at the bottom of a narrow tube. The only way to get it out was to bend a straight wire into a hook. No crow had ever seen wire before. Within 2 minutes of being given a straight piece of wire, a crow named Betty bent it into a hook and retrieved the food. She invented a solution to a problem she had never encountered before using a material she had never seen before in under 2 minutes. Then there is the puzzle solving. Researchers created an 8-step puzzle, where crows had to complete each step in sequence to eventually access food. The steps included pulling strings, moving levers, opening boxes, and using tools retrieved from earlier steps to complete later steps. The crows solved it, not after days of trial and error. Some of them figured out the entire sequence in a single session. 8 sequential steps, planned and executed from beginning to end. But the thing that truly separates crows from almost every other animal is their ability to understand what other creatures are thinking. Scientists call this theory of mind. It means understanding that other beings have their own knowledge, beliefs, and intentions, and using that understanding strategically. Here is what this looks like in practice. When a crow finds food and another crow is watching, it will pretend to hide the food in one location while secretly moving it to a different location. It is deliberately deceiving the watching crow. But here is the sophisticated part. It only does this if it has previously stolen food from other crows itself. Crows that have never stolen food from others do not use deception when hiding their own food, but crows that have stolen from others, who know from personal experience what it is like to be a thief, assume other crows are also thieves, and take precautions accordingly. They are projecting their own experience onto others and adjusting their behavior based on that projection. That is not instinct, that is reasoning. And then there is play. Crows play, not in the way most animals play, chasing each other or batting at objects. Crows have been filmed sliding down snowy rooftops repeatedly just for the fun of it, dropping objects from height and catching them mid-air, playing keep away with other animals including dogs and cats and wolves, making tools and then leaving them somewhere obvious just to watch other animals try to figure out what they are. They do things that serve no survival purpose whatsoever. They do them because they enjoy it. The brain of a crow relative to its body size is proportionally similar to that of a chimpanzee. And in several cognitive tests, planning for the future, tool use, self-control, understanding cause and effect, crows outperform chimpanzees. They outperform almost every animal on the planet except humans. And in some very specific tests involving memory, Pattern recognition and problem solving. The scores of crows overlap with the scores of human children between the ages of 7 and 10. So the next time a crow looks at you from a tree, really looks at you, turns its head, fixes one eye directly on yours, understand what is actually happening. It is remembering your face. It is categorizing you. It is deciding whether you are safe or dangerous. And it is filing that information away in a memory that will last for years and will be shared with every crow it knows. You are not looking at a bird. You are being assessed by one of the most sophisticated minds on this planet. And it lives in something the size of your fist. If this made you look at birds differently, subscribe right now, because this is what FactStruck does every single week. We find the most unbelievable things on this planet and tell you the whole story. No fluff, just the real stuff. See you in the next one.